Hello and welcome everybody. Continuing our non-presidential election coverage here. We have unemployment drops to 6.9% and U.S. adds a solid 638,000 jobs. Washington Associated Press. The U.S. job market showed a surprising burst of strength in October, with employers adding 638,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate tumbling to 6.9%. Still, the pace of hiring isn't robust enough to rapidly soak up the millions of Americans who were thrown out of work by the pandemic recession. The job gain suggests that the tentative recovery is still intact, even as it faces a surging viral outbreak with no further financial aid from Congress. October's increase was slightly below the 672,000 jobs that were added in September, and far fewer than the 1.5 million in August. But last month's gains was stronger than it appears. It was held down by the loss of 150,000 temporary census jobs. So that's pretty cool. The federal government lost jobs in October. So did struggling states, municipalities, excluding governments at all levels. Private businesses added a healthy 906,000 jobs. Hiring was particularly strong in construction, retail, and a category includes restaurants and hotels. As it should be. We are heading into November, which is, as we all know, the golden months in all retail. That should not be that much of a surprise. There's always a big surge for temporary placement jobs in these months. October, November, and last but not least, in the beginning of December, we often see jobs for retail and things like that go way, way up, particularly retail. Walmart hires many, many temps. You also see a boost in, like grocery stores, places like that. Shipping also goes up. So you're talking like warehouse jobs, packing jobs, pick and pack jobs, things like that. They all go through the roof this time of year. So we should see another great big surge this next month as well, as we head into the final bits of the fourth quarter. All of this, though, is hinged upon what the president, whoever that might be, does in late or early January. If it goes into full lockdown, we'll see many, many, many of those jobs disappear. Europe is being hit really hard with lockdowns. They're not being hit that hard with the coronavirus. They are just frightened. Extremely so. You guys need to realize that at this point, we have this disease. Okay? We have the flu, we have the cold, and now we have the corona. It is just going to be a part of our everyday lives. China does not have a massive lockdowns or anything like that when it comes to SARS, which is what COVID-19 is a part of. It is a SARS disease that is that is more contagious, and we all know that COVID-19 is more contagious than the flu and has a higher death rate than the flu. We understand this. They're working on a vaccine. At least that's what they said. I don't know. Haven't heard hide nor hair of this great evil pandemic. All you can find is U.S. election stuff. Struggling to find good news, bad news, or otherwise that does not have to do with it. But we do have this. So this is good news. Luckily, I'm trying to find the good news, folks. there is not too much. That would be the report Friday from the Labor Department said that the unemployment rate sank a full percentage point from 7.9 in September, yet the nation still has 10.1 million fewer jobs than it did before the pandemic intensified in March. At the current pace, hiring it would take until February 2022 to regain the jobs lost to the pandemic. So that's not going to be the case. You're going to see, that's just it. The reason why we didn't get a bigger surge is because companies all over the United States are terrified. They don't know what's going to happen. Uncertainty in a presidential election or anything, any kind of election really, will make people who own businesses, they just won't hire because they don't know if they're going to be taxed more. They don't know if they're going to have the ability to send, shipping to China. Basically, if a trade agreement goes through that makes China a free trade deal where they don't pay us anything, then the U.S. job market's going to dry up real quick, and you're never going to see that gain. However, on the flip side, it could surge even higher, just depending. Everything's going to depend on what happens with the election. So we have to wait and see what happens there. But it is good news. So that also means that if you are out there and you do not currently have a job, there are employment opportunities arising out there. I understand that sometimes we have to take jobs we don't want. I've had to do it in the past. I have had to work for Walmart before, people. It is not a pleasant experience, but it is money. I recommend the night shift. It's funnier that way. The people who come out in the middle of the night and into Walmarts, well, then again, they aren't, for the most part, Walmarts are no longer 24. So be aware of that. They do stocking stuff at night now. So that's something to look for. Yeah, but go out, find jobs, folks. There's plenty out there to do. If you need help, there are many free services for finding jobs. Tennessee has a lot of really great people in place. I've used them before myself. Now, I was looking for a particular job when I tried to do it. I was not. I had done my dues on the old open market field, and I wasn't really looking for a job where I can just sit my butt down and get a check. Like do a job that I have the ability to weigh my options. Most people don't have. I'm retired military, so I do get money regardless every month. So be aware that my story is not that of most. And but if you do need a job, there are many great programs out there. One of the things that I think the government does fairly well, in my opinion, I don't think people need to be on unemployment for 30 years or any kind of stuff like that. But if you need to, go get on unemployment. Do it for 5 years. Do whatever you need to do. Or not 5 years, 5 months. I think there should be a 6-month cutoff myself. At 6 months, if you have not gotten a job, bam, we cut you off. Sorry about the dogs in the background today, folks. There's not much I can do about it right now. They are currently being taken out to go potties, but it does take time. All right. But I will see you guys all later. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I should have one more video coming up this afternoon. So thank you all so very much. And remember, get your news for the election. There's millions of places out there to do it. I recommend staying away from mainstream media. They don't have any clue as to what they're talking about. Fox or otherwise, Associated Press has screwed it up for a long time too. But that is where this article comes from. I do check many sources. My the people I like the most is the New York Post, the oldest printing publication in the United States. I believe that they have the greatest respect, in my opinion, as a news organization. They are the most impartial I have found. Associated Press, not so much. But go out. I recommend Tim Pool if you want updates on via YouTube for what's going on. He doesn't really have a whole lot of biases. He is upfront about the things he does, how he does feel. And but for everything else, come on back. I will have more for you later this afternoon. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.